Food handling, storage, and preparation of food.
How to prepare, cook and store food correctly, to minimize the risk of food poisoning. It is important to make sure that you control the safety of food, from the moment it arrives at your business, through all stages of preparation, and through to it being consumed by the customer. Food deliveries. Food safety control starts when accepting food deliveries. It is necessary to implement food service training, and have a process in place to ensure you are bringing safe quality food into your business. To keep your customers safe, follow these guidelines on when to reject items during your food delivery from your suppliers. Examine all food packaging. Always look closely at the packaging of products at the time the food is delivered. Any packaging that has holes in it should be rejected. With canned products, watch for any that have bulging ends. It could indicate a product that may be deteriorating in condition, due to manufacturing, chemical, or physical factors. Any product that has broken seals, dirty packaging, or missing labels, should not be accepted into your business. If there is any sign of tampering with the product, you should not receive it. Always reject frozen food if fluid stains are visible on the packaging, or the bottom of the case. If there is any evidence of thawing and refreezing, this would be visible as ice, or frozen fluid on the product or the packaging. Check temperatures. Temperatures should be checked on products upon delivery. Some food items are more likely than others to become unsafe. Those items are known as TCS, which stands for Time and Temperature Control for Safety. Food requires time and temperature controls to prevent the growth of microorganisms and the production of toxins. Cold food. Any cold TCS food should be received at 5 degrees Celsius or lower. Frozen foods should be frozen solid at -18 degrees Celsius when received. Food which is delivered at the wrong temperature must be rejected. Probe accuracy. Temperature probes need to be calibrated to ensure that they are accurate. Choose one day of the week when the kitchen is quieter, and collect all your probes together to calibrate. Each thermometer should be numbered, and this will assist you identifying them for your calibration records. The records should show the result of the test and who did the test. To check your thermometer is accurate. For low temperatures, place tip of thermometer probe into crushed ice and little cold water, wait for the display to stabilize, then measure reading. It should be between -0.5 degrees Celsius and ½ degree Celsius. For high temperatures, place tip of thermometer probe into the steam from a boiling kettle of water, wait for the display to stabilize, and measure reading. It should be between 99.5 degrees Celsius and 100.5 degrees Celsius. Checking temperatures. An accuracy of at least ±½ degree Celsius is required for your temperature probe. To prevent cross-contamination, sanitize the probe with antibacterial wipes before and after use. They will not be effective if left to dry out. To show due diligence, a record of the temperatures you measure must be saved on file. Record the temperature of the food at its core, or its thickest part. If this is not possible, for example vacuum-packed and frozen foods, you should measure the temperature between packs. Assess food quality. The quality of the food you are purchasing is paramount. Make sure to reject food if it's moldy. If a product shows signs of pest damage, do not accept it. Any food that has a strange smell or discoloration should be rejected. Receiving means checking foods or meals delivered from vendors. 4. Correct item. Specified quantity. Quality. Food safety criteria. Accept or reject food based on these receiving criteria. As part of your hazard analysis and critical control points procedure, you will need to keep a record of items arriving. Include the date, the name of the supplier, the time of the delivery, name of checked item, use by date, temperature in degrees centigrade, note of any corrective action needed, and your signature. When you are putting away the new delivery, use stock rotation in which new supplies are shelved behind old supplies, so that the old amounts are used first. First in, first out. Ensuring that you are reducing wastage, and using items such as fruit and vegetables when they are at their best quality. Food storage. Keep storerooms cool, dry and well ventilated. Ensure you keep them clean and pest-free. Ideally, storage areas should have a humidity level of 15% or less. Maintain stored foods in their original packages, but dispose of outer packaging that may be dirty whenever possible. Always store dry foods at least 6 inches off the floor and away from the walls. This will reduce the chances of condensation brought on by temperature differences. Storing foods in direct sunlight should be avoided. Oxidation is increased by sunlight, and the subsequent loss of the food's nutritional value and quality. Damaged cans that are swollen, dented or rusted should not be used. When it is not feasible to keep food in its original packaging, keep the food in a clean sanitized container, to restrict the entry of insect and rodent pests, and keep out other contaminants. The new container must be identified with the name of the food, its ingredients, and the first use by or expiration date. Refrigeration. Refrigeration is to keep foods at a colder temperature, to slow down the growth of bacteria, providing optimum food safety for your customers. Your fridge should operate at between 2 and 5 degrees Celsius, to ensure that they stay within the legal requirements. A cold room is an essential piece of refrigeration used in a professional kitchen. Sometimes called a walk-in, these are fridges or freezers which can hold many racks worth of stock, all securely stored in its own chilled or frozen room. Correct temperature controls are the most critical measure in preventing food poisoning. Keep temperature records of all fridges and freezers on a temperature record sheet, to show due diligence in your food handling. Where possible, always store raw and ready-to-eat food in separate fridges, freezers and display units. If they are in the same unit, store eggs, fish, raw meat, and poultry below ready-to-eat food. Fruit and vegetables that are unwashed should also be kept separate from ready-to-eat food and above the raw meat. Cover cooked foods and other raw and ready-to-eat food. You need to prevent cross-contamination of harmful bacteria spreading from raw food to ready-to-eat food. Do not store any food items directly on the floor of the walk-in refrigeration rooms. Do not store food above the load level indicator, as this will prevent the proper circulation of cold air within the fridge. Keep rigorously followed cleaning schedule in place for all fridges. The fridges need to be cleaned out weekly, and sanitized, with a food-safe antibacterial product. Freezers. The temperature of -18 degrees Celsius is the standard food freezing temperature in Europe. Store raw and cooked frozen items separate in your freezer. Do not overload your freezer, and keep stock below the load line. Ensure that you rotate the stock, to allow you to use the oldest stock first, and check the use-by dates. Keep temperature records of all freezers on a temperature record sheet, to show due diligence in your food handling.